What is going on, YouTube? It's your boy NevinTheBarber, and we have officially hit 100,000 subscribers. I want to thank each and every single one of my subscribers for helping me reach this milestone. I truly do appreciate it. I'll drop this tutorial for you guys and show you guys how I cut my own hair. So basically, you guys can see I took my gamma hitters to carve in my first bald line, and as you guys can see where I placed this first guideline, I am doing a high drop fade, making sure that we take out the C cup and drop it beneath my occipital bone on the back side of my head. And I personally do like to bald my first initial guideline down to the skin first before going into the blend. That's just personally what works best for me. But you guys can see that I did be sure to give myself enough space in the back, making sure that I don't take it too high nor too low. That way our blend looks nice and blurry right beneath the occipital bone and the parietal ridge. So that is one thing to always keep in mind whenever you guys are cutting hair. Always be sure you guys give yourself enough space to blend, you know, beneath each bone. That way it gives enough contrast on the skull. And before I went into the next step, I went ahead and made sure that both sides were nice and symmetrical. And you guys can now see I'm using my Gamma Uno shaver just to knock off all the little flyaways down to the skin, making sure the stubble is cut nice and smooth. And this Uno shaver right here is a very good little shaver. I know it is a single foil, but trust me, you guys, if you have not yet tried this shaver, I would highly recommend it. It is very powerful, and it's also good to get in nice little small areas that you can't reach with the double foil. So if you guys are struggling, you know, knocking down the skin area behind the ear, or even, you know, like around the mustache or the goatee area, this is a very efficient shaver for those areas. So I would recommend this 100%. You guys can save some money on it if you want to use my code NEVIN10 on the Gamma website. All the clippers will be in the description, and all of the clippers are from Gamma in this haircut tutorial. So for the next step in this self cut, I went ahead and took the 1.5 guard, and I am using it all the way closed. And I did go a little bit more than an inch for this guideline, just because our fade is going to be in this guideline right here from the 0 to the 1.5. And I am repeating the same steps on the other side of my head, going up, like I said, just a little bit more than an inch. And now I'm using some of my NevinTheBarber curling mousse just to lay my hair down nice and smooth. If you guys do want some curling foam or any hair care products, I will also be sure to leave the link in the description for that as well. And I'm now using the number 3 guard, cutting my hair with the grain just to maintain that bulk, like I said, around the occipital bone and the parietal ridge on my head. And now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and take my Gamma Ergos with no guard, lever open, and we're going to go right in the middle of that first guideline we created with the 1.5 guard. And you guys want to make sure to keep it nice and consistent all the way throughout your scalp. Just remember, clean, consistent guidelines will equal a clean, consistent fade. And little by little, I'm just closing that lever one notch at a time while shortening my cutting stroke and attacking that bottom line. And my hair is pretty thick, but just be nice and consistent with the cutting stroke and the technique you guys are using, and you will get a nice clean blend. And you also want to pay attention to the growth pattern of your hair. My hair does grow in different directions, which is why I'm angling the clipper in different directions as I'm blending out these guidelines. So just ensure and do a quick, you know, scalp analysis on your head whenever doing this. That way you guys can get a nice clean blend if you do try and cut your own hair. So now that I've blended out the left side of my head, I'm going to go ahead and do the same exact steps on the right side of my head. You guys can see that I took this guideline right in the middle of that previous guideline we created with the 1.5 guard. Go ahead and put on the 2 guard all the way open, just flicking up right off the parietal ridge in the occipital bone area. And I'm doing this so I can get a nice clean transition into the bulk area and the top of my fade. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn the clipper around and cut the scalp with the grain, just to knock down the extra flyaways that we just created while cutting the hair going up. And again, same thing on the right side. You guys can see that this is just softening that guideline from the top of our fade into the bulk area. And if you guys have learned anything in this tutorial so far, please be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that like button. And right here, I went ahead and put on the 0.5 guard all the way open. So we're now cutting the hair at a short number 1 guard length. And again, we're just going to be repeating the same exact steps, closing that notch 1 time while attacking our final guideline in the middle. And little by little, you guys can see that this blend is coming together. Again, this is just what personally worked out for me. If you guys want to give it a shot, give it a go and let me know how it worked for you in the comments. And here I went ahead and used my Babyliss clippers just because I do have a 0 gap ceramic blade, and I do like to touch up the bottom of my fades to get it nice and blurry with this clipper right here. And you guys can see that with these few simple steps I've showed you, I was able to achieve a nice clean blend on myself. And believe it or not, this is how I actually got into barbering. I was the first person I've ever cut, and it does take years and years to master the craft. So for any beginner barber out there struggling, don't get discouraged. You know, this will get better with time as you guys continue to progress and cut more heads as you go into the industry and whatnot. But like I said, this is how I got into the industry, just cutting my own hair. And believe it or not, you guys will learn from your mistakes. So if you cut your hair and you're not satisfied, don't let that discourage you guys. Just give it another go. You know, maybe try a different technique, try a different method, and with time you guys will see that you will find a technique and method that works for you as you're cutting hair. Right here you guys can see I'm just cleaning up my lineup, keeping it nice and sharp while maintaining a nice natural line. And I do got the modified P3 blade on my gamma hitters. And this is the Shapu razor blade right here. I'm gonna go ahead and stretch my skin and bring that blade up against the grain of my hair. And I always recommend that you guys do this whenever doing razor work. As you guys bring the blade up against the hair, it does create a sharper line and will make the haircut last longer. The modified P3 blade that I have on my gamma trimmers. If you guys are interested in getting this blade, I will be sure to include the link in the bio as well. And that is basically about it for today's haircut tutorial. Again, if you guys learned anything in this high drop fade with my waves, please be sure to hit that like button. Drop a comment letting me know what you guys want to see next, and please hit that subscribe channel if you guys haven't already. But thank you again if you guys tuned in this far to the video. I do appreciate you guys helping me reach 100K, and I will see you guys in the next video. It's been your boy Nevin the Barber, and I'm out.